Don't even let him get in the airport. If he lose this game this week, and they at home
Look,
too. They lose this
oh
game this
man,
week. Fire that man. Like take. He need to come to work the Monday morning. His key card don't need to work.
E card
Like that
can't like don't
mean
now forget that. Don't even show up at the parking lot. Don't pull your car
exactly.
and run
Like
here. I'll call you.
they might do like they did Herm Mel, like Arizona State did Herm Melwood and fire him on the field. Only let him get to the locker room.
That was a messed up situation.
Yeah, it
But
was.
the Jags go into are they stay their home at this game, but the Raiders lose to the Jags 27-20. The Raiders are 2-6. The Jags are 3-6. And this is the third game they lost, the Raiders. It's the third game they lose when they lead by 17 points. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. You don't even have a first round. You didn't even have a first round pick when you were picking in your draft that was the first draft held in Las Vegas. This is the
Mhm.
first draft, and y'all sitting there with no picks because y'all went to go get Devontae Adams. And there's nothing wrong with the going and getting Devontae Adams. The issue is you have no offense to show for it. Last year's offense was better than this year's offense, and you didn't have Devontae Adams. Now, not only can you not get the ball or get great production out of Devontae Adams, your other offensive weapon, what's his name? Renfro
Hunter
has
Renfro.
Renfro has regressed severely.
Mhm.
It's so much going on with the Raiders organization that is wrong. And they were supposed to be coming off of a high off of last season by making the playoffs for the first time in Derek Carr's career. And it's just they're not doing it. And I say that because Josh McDaniel should be on the hot seat.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have stuck with Bashotti last year. I think that he had a good thing going
Agreed.
there. He got them to the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. And you got something smooth like that. But we know Mark Davis. He wants the sexy hire. He wants to make the splash. I get it. But Josh McDaniels though, like make Josh Mc, we saw this with the Broncos over a decade ago,
Yes.
and how unimaginative his offenses have been since he's been in New England.
I think they figured they didn't have Tebow, so they had a good idea, but nah, it's bad.
Yeah, like he's a classic case of coach trying to make players fit his system versus fitting the system
Yes.
around the players. And the system
Yes.
that he got working right now isn't working. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Davis got pride and he wants to keep McDaniels because of his pride. I wouldn't be surprised if they ship Derek Carr out of there next year. Like, it wouldn't
No,
shock me.
that's got to happen. Now, the
Yeah,
Derek Carr situation, that conversation has got to happen, in my opinion, because he's the only one that's been consistent. I mean, he's the only constant throughout his whole career with the Raiders. He's been the constant. There's been
yeah,
coaches came, coaches gone, GMs came, GMs gone, and he's been the only constant. I'm not saying it's his fault, but I am saying that he's the common denominator here.
absolutely. And then they got the Giants defensive coordinator who runs more of a zone
Uh,
blitz scheme, and they still got personnel from the old cover Gus Bradley cover three
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So you could
That's why
kind of
it
tell
ain't work.
that yeah, you could kind of tell that it wasn't going to work out for them. And big up to the Jags, man. They needed a win. They had been on a 4 game slide. Just lost over there with our London brothers and sisters over there last week to Mister Unlimited. So it was good for them to get off the Mister do calisthenics on the plane for 4 hours, 4 hour 8 hour flight. So it was good for them to get off the slide and get a big win. Shout out to Dougie P. Because they got the Chiefs coming up next, so they needed a good win. And I'm happy to see that Travis Etienne took hold of that backfield. He was sharing it with James Robinson, but the Jaguars felt like he had done enough to make that backfield his, and he's been impressed with these last 2 or 3 games.
That's
Getting
why
consistent 100-yard rushing games. So
we're
absolutely,
sure
I'm happy that he's doing well.
we're seeing why he got drafted so early. So I like that. Let's move on to the Chargers who beat the Falcons 20-17.
They didn't
Falcons.
want to.
No, they didn't. They kept trying to give it over to the Falcons, and you know the Falcons didn't want to take it either. So
Right, right, right.
the Chargers are 5-3. The Falcons are 4-5, and I just don't understand. Atlanta's doing what they can, and the Chargers, I don't know what's going on. They got a winning record right now, but they don't look like they should have a winning record.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like that old saying that what is it? The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
two teams that I tweeted this. If y'all want to follow me, at audience underscore of one on Twitter, I tweeted this. Or two underscores. I'm sorry, audience of two underscores. Audience two underscores of one on Twitter. I tweeted this. It's like two teams that are jinxed, trying to out jinx each other. Like neither one of them want to win that game. You fumble inside the 5 yard line. A defensive tackle, somebody who never touched the ball, take off running. Nobody touches him, and he fumbles the ball, get the ball back. It's like I don't want to win. You
I,
win. I don't want
I
to
didn't.
win. No, you take it. No, you go. No, you go. It was the most wildest thing I'd ever seen. Like two teams
When
that are
he
used to collapsing in the fourth quarter collapsed in the fourth
when
quarter. It
he
was crazy.
when he dropped that pass and had that, all he had to do was truck like one person, and he was free and clear. And I mean, unless somebody caught him from behind, but he just dropped it. Nobody touched him. He just dropped it. And
Craziest thing
just
I ever
like
seen.
a
And
hole
I
in his
say this
back
all the
pocket.
time. Yeah, I say this all the time. I don't wish being a Falcons fan on anyone. That's no shade to anybody that is a Falcon fan. I have several around me, several Falcon fans around me.
Of course
But
you
like
do.
a lot of the late game blunders, a lot of the franchise blunders, the quarterback that got busted for dog fighting, the coach they
Mm.
hired to coach the quarterback, and he felt like the quarterback wasn't going to be there anymore. So then he put notes in the players' lockers, say, "Hey, I'm going to coach at Arkansas now because quarterback ain't here no more." Or them losing in the Super Bowl 28-3, or having a 21-0 lead in
Oh,
the NFC Championship game. I can go on and on.
bruh,
Oh, and
you
there's
can
the
go on
Eugene
and on.
Robinson. Yeah, that's Eugene Robinson buying a prostitute the night before the Super Bowl. Can't leave that
Stop.
out. So I just couldn't, and then we know what the Chargers history of Phillip Rivers being
Man,
down by 5 points with 2 minutes left, no timeouts, and he got to drive 80 yards down the field. That's what they do, man. And I will give the Chargers some grace. They do have a lot of injuries. Herbert is still injured from
but that's
week two
part of
matchup
their
against the
story,
Chiefs.
bro. That's part of their story.
Exactly.
Every
They got a
year,
lot of
it's been
injuries.
that
Yeah.
way. I used to call
J.C.
it the Philip.
Jackson's out.
I used to call it the Philip Rivers curse because y'all everybody around him gets injured, but he never got injured. I used to call it the Philip Rivers curse, but
Exactly.
I think it's the Los Angeles Chargers uh, medical staff curse. I think.
Exactly. I'm gonna ask
But
this real quick because I know you're the host and you gotta keep it moving. I'm gonna ask you this question real quick. You can just be a
yeah,
one word answer or not. You believe that Brandon Staley's on the hot seat?
yes,
Okay.
if it, in a league where you thought you was catching, where you spent money on J.C. Jackson, I can't keep this as a one word answer. You went and got him from
Khalil Mack.
you got Khalil, like you thought you was closing the gap with the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and you kind of are right now. I mean, you one game behind them, whatever.
Mhm.
But let's say for some reason they missed the playoffs this year. He got to go. Now they make the
And-
playoffs. He make the playoffs is a different story.
mhm.
But if he misses the playoffs, there's no excuse. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And if I'm the GM, I have to go find him I have to go find him a head coach that can get him, because he has the act. I mean, he has the stats. We need to figure out how to get him these wins because he ain't got them right now. And everybody wants to put him in some kind of category that has him near Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and the elite quarterback. He's not there because he don't have the elite wins. Seriously.
Exactly. Hire somebody who's not a moron, like somebody that's not gonna go for it on 4th and 2 on his own 20. Like,
It's
and
scary.
can we please? I'm going to small little rant, and I'm gonna be done. Can we please stop blaming everything on analytics? Like, please, like Like everything isn't about the analytics. Some guys are just morons. Like the analytics. Like I'm not against any
That's what the
formula of
analytics say.
exactly. I'm not against any form of math that say, hey, these are the percentages if you take this chance, or these are the percentages if you do that. Like this stuff, every time we watch a football game, well, the analytics say, oh, yeah, they're going for it on 4th and 1. They're listening to the analytics. Like, no, some guys are just morons. Like, let's call it for what
Idiots.
it is. Exactly. Stop
Yes.
blaming everything on the nerds. Like they're just the analytics are just an extra tool to help out. They're not saying that you gotta follow that to the absolute T. Just an extra tool, just like tendencies, just like a scouting report, just like
Real talk.
anything else. That's what analytics is. I hate when Tarico or Buck or Nance or whoever the announcer is that day says, well, they're going for it because of the analytics. So it drives me freaking crazy when they do that. Like some guys are just morons. Like that's what it is. Like let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Let's move it on to the Miami Dolphins squeaking out a win against the Chicago Bears. I say that because I originally wasn't sure if I believed in Justin Fields. Now, Miami scores 35, the Bears score 32, takes the Miami Dolphins 6-3, takes Chicago to 3-6. I wasn't sure if I could get behind Justin Fields quite yet, but bro, after this game, I think I like the kid. I think I like the kid. He needs to get some weaponry. They need to get him some legitimate help at wide receiver. When I say legitimate help, I'm not talking about Byron Pringle and nothing, no shade at him, but he
What
was a
about Chase
Kansas,
Claypool?
huh?
What about Chase Claypool?
I mean, yeah, Chase is fine, I guess, but they gotta get somebody like a Justin Jefferson. What's the kid's name in Miami?
Waddle.
Somebody, Jalen Waddle, somebody like that, somebody you can have under club control. And I know Chase Claypool's supposed to be that, but he's regressed. That's why the Steelers didn't want him. So we'll see what happens with him. But they need some more dynamic talent on that offensive line. I mean, I like Cole Kmet as the tight end, but they need some more wide receivers and all that. But I
Yeah,
like,
them guys are like 3s and 4s and 5s on that team.
yeah,
At
man.
best.
And in 3 games, the Bears are averaging 30 plus points per game.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you something, and y'all need to supply that kid Justin Fields with some help. He needs it. He can do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe they finally using him the right way. Like I think they
Yes.
finally woke up and realized, hey, we got a 6'3",
Mhm,
45 pound quarterback that runs a 4.4 and a
mhm.
40. Hey, let's run some quarterback design runs. Up until that New England game, he had only ran a total of 12,
Yeah.
12 quarterback runs between Matt Nagy and Eberflus.
Don't
So
know
they
that.
so they finally realized they got a weapon at quarterback. They started using some of those. Even Justin Fields admitted they started using some of those Lamar Jackson plays from the
Mhm.
Ravens, and their offense has taken off ever since. They've scored
Yes.
at least 28 points in the last 3 games. They scored 29 on Dallas's defense, and Dallas has a pretty good defense. And
Hey, when you can average 30 points a game, you like this last game, you could lose it, but the odds are you're gonna win. That's the odds. So just keep doing this, and hopefully you come out with some wins on the other side.
exactly, especially when you're going to go up against the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and
Hey,
shout out to Tyreek, man. The
hey,
quickest to 1,000 yards. No, he's
shouts
on
out.
pace. Yeah,
My
he's on pace
God.
to get 2,000 yards
That,
receiving right
that,
now, 2,200 yards. So he's on pace
that
for that.
dude, I'm here. Like, of course, I didn't think he could do this, but first of all, he's earning that $30 million. He's earning every ounce of it. That's number
Mm-hmm.
one.
Facts.
He is everywhere on that field, everywhere. But they asked him to do a job, and he is working. He's the MVP down there, no doubt,
I was
no
just
doubt.
about to ask you that. Let me ask you that quick question real quick. It's Mahomes. They're talking Hurts. They're talking Allen. But you throw Tyreek in that MVP conversation as well?
Nah, you can't. Well, hold on. Let's see. How would I throw Tyreek in there if he can get
Yeah, if
two
you didn't want
thousand?
it to be a true quarterback award, like people saying it's based on a
It
quarterback
shouldn't.
award.
It never should be. I
Yeah,
hate the idea that it's a true quarterback award. And if you're gonna make it a quarterback award, stop calling it the MVP. That's my thing.
facts.
But for 2,000 yards, if he can get